Good day, good day, good day, good day, good day. It's me. Me. So today we're doing a 15 Cinderbrew Unholy. So we're going to walk through that right now. Let's get into this shit. Okay. Straight up. What we want to do here is we want to focus one thing that will take the brunt of any sort of focus damage. So hired muscle is a good target. Go in with an A-bomb limb, dark transformation, D&D down. Now just start getting that essence stack to 7. Let's use the wet hair, just come out the shower. So here in an AoE pool like this, you're basically spamming the shit out of Vampiric Strike anytime you can. Spend your Festing Scythe, so you've got that wound damage as well, and that wound bursting. Look at that, 20 stacks of Festing Might. It's pretty nice. It's not the biggest pool in the world. Didn't do a tremendous amount of damage, but that's what it is. Doesn't matter. We move on. Sometimes you can get 30 mil, sometimes you don't. That is unholy for you. No big blood beasts anymore. But give it our best. So what you want to do there in an AoE pool like that is just be spamming Vampiric Strike to get your blood beast out. If you can't do that, you're spending those sudden doom procs. So priority goes like this. So sudden doom proc is like the top priority if you have 2. Then it's spending Festing Scythe, and then it's spending sudden doom proc if you've got 1. Spamming Vampiric Strikes. It's all within the Dark Transformation window. So now we're moving on to the next pack here. Smaller burst, just the Dark Transformation. We still want to be getting that Death and Decay down, Defile down, as soon as possible when the damage proportion runs out. Because the damage actually is quite a lot from Defile, so we want that. When we're moving into the pack as well, the focus is to make sure that when we go in, we are doing an ability which allows us to keep our 7 stack of Essence up. If it means do Death Coil so you can chance it, proc a Dark Transformation, and then keep the stack rolling so that your next Dark Transformation it goes into that with 7. That's great. The more time you spend building, the worse. When you get to a small number of targets like this, it's where you had just like the 3 there, Death Coil overtakes, cause especially in execute damage, because the epidemic the spell doesn't benefit from reaping, but Death Coil does. So you do want to be looking out for execute targets, especially in low target counts. Anything under 7, look for those targets to just be pelting with a little Death Coil. So here, obviously Death Advance stops you from getting knocked back. That's nice, but nothing really else you can do. But we've got Big Burst coming around now. So yeah, I didn't feel like it was the right time to pop my 1.5 minutes there. I just wanted to do another 45 seconds just to kill him off. See, now it's fine. I'm just doing some setup. I should have run in with a dot rather than doing it so late. But now I'm just doing some setup so that when I do have my big burst, I'm going to be able to burst high. Like this pack's not going to die quickly, so you have the freedom to do that. So now I waited those additional 10 seconds. I set up, had everything rolling. I can do some good damn. Obviously, marksman hunters are fucking stupid. But after their burst rolls off and mine comes up, soon overtake them. Our damage, very nice. It's very long, sustained damage over the course of about like 30 seconds. It's good. Now, also I'm thinking about what I can put Festing Scythe on. Obviously, there's 4 targets there. Getting a Festing Scythe on that would be nice, but also I'm thinking about the next pool. The next pool is going to be the boss with some mobs. Look at the amount of mobs that we've got there. If I Festing Scythe all of those, boom! All of them have Festing wounds. Now I can pop those and consistently have 20 stacks going in. So going into this pool now at the start, when I just have my small burst, my Dark Transformation, at least I have 20 stacks of Festamite because I've Festing Scythed all of those yellow mobs. Everything that was around it. Okay. On single target as well, it's pretty much like DPS neutral to put Defile down as long as the boss stays in the Defile for the full duration. I don't trust that this boss does or will, so I don't really do it very often. Okay, Hunter down. I think he gets rezzed. So the main goal here is to make sure that nothing drops off. The thing that sucks about this boss is obviously during the phase, during the intermission, it will. Now here, I popped my Dark Transformation because I thought to myself, all right, it's going to phase in a little bit, but I'm definitely going to get it back. I popped everything, actually, to be honest. But there's no point, because I'm going to be holding this for so long, I'm just going to waste cast. It'd be better for me just to get a cast off. And I mean, to be honest, I get like a full burst off of that. Like, I'm missing 2-3 seconds? Fuck it, man. That's value. That's good. That was worth it. So even if he's going to phase, if you've got an ability coming in that will push his phase back, it might be worth just pressing it, doing it. So at this point, I'm thinking, fuck, I've got 5 stacks of Insight Terror. I want to get that. No, I failed. But I do manage to keep my 7 stacks of Essence, which is super. Now, because Dark Transformation was a little while away, it was worth outbreaking for sure. But now I'm going to pop Dark Tran. I felt like he was going to stay in the file for the full duration, which he has done, which is good. That's why I put that down. In your Dark Transformation window, you're looking at just spamming Vampiric Strikes so that you can do Death Coils. It's not worth doing Festering Strikes because the damage from Festering Strike is so low. So you're better off weaving. Oh, yeah, you're better off weaving Death Coils and Vampiric Strikes. Vampiric Strike hits for something like 1 million on average per rune spent, whereas Festering Strike it's 250k for 2 runes. Shut up. Not worth it. So now we've got another phase, but all of our big cooldowns coming up. Now, it's going to be nice for us because when we go into this phase, we'll have everything ready. I wanted to try and see if I could keep something. No, keep Death Rot, but then I just decided not to. I'm going to lose my Essence buff, which does suck. Lose that haste, lose that difficult damage. Not great. Still missing 1. Now I just sort of get to town, put some wounds on him for when he's ready. Now, I didn't need to outbreak there because I was definitely going to Dark Transformation, so I was a bit done. But it's such habit. Now I need to rebuild 7 stacks of Essence, which is painful. As soon as I have a Sudden Doom proc, I am looking to press it. The good thing about Sudden Doom is obviously it stacks to 2. So if you do need to press an ability in between Sudden Doom procs, you can. So it's once you have 2 that it's a massive issue and you really need to get that spent as soon as possible. If you have 1, you have the ability, you have a short period of time where you could potentially press Festering Scythe, spend that proc so you can start the next one, or Vampiric Strike. Ideally, you don't... Yeah, no, boss is dead. Yeah, ideally you just spend it as soon as possible. You don't hold on to it for too long. So now I think we have a smaller pool, and this small pool has Dark Transformation, and it has Best in Slots. Oh, just taking a look there. So I'm looking at what's the best target here, just thinking about it. Now we have a Hobgoblin coming into the fray, but I think Pyromaniac, fuck it. I think we're already set up on this. Let's just go. Got a nice Blood Beast as well. Sudden new proc, spend those. If I'm in the vicinity to Festering Scythe, do that. Get instantly another Festering Scythe. Now also as these new brews spawn, little brew drops, I'm going to dot those up as well. So last day I actually have a decent amount of health, especially on a 15. I'll put in the next pack. We have some big cooldowns coming up soon. I forgot if I actually put it here. But if I pop 1 more wound, I get my Festering Scythe. Bang! Now I really want to pop these wounds as soon as possible so I can have my 20 stack. There we go. They're popped. So we do a big burst now. Got 20 stacks of Festering Scythe. We have D&D down to far down now. 7 stacks of Essence. We're literally laughing. Could really actually have done A-Bomb Limb 2 for added effect. So yeah, this is quite a low target count. So Epidemicing is 5 targets, so it's kind of it's all right. The only benefit to that is that it keeps Death Rot up on everything. So yeah, it's fine. I mean, but there's a lot of min-maxing that could be done here. Like you could tab target with the Sudden Doom procs to put Rotten Touch on a lot of targets so that your Vampiric Strike does a lot more. I would say that that's definitely a good thing to do. But I didn't do it here. So we attempt to skip here. Can't remember if it goes right or not. I think it doesn't go right. I think it goes wrong. But now, all I'm thinking about right now is what I'm going to do for DPS. I need to get my ghoul out. And then I need to Dark Transformation. I need to spend this fucking A-Bomb Limb as well. What am I doing? There we go. Finally. I was looking at that fail batch, but no one else seemed to care. Only me. Alright. Because we did that little skip, I have to build all my stuff back with this pack. And that's so shit. Don't want that. Now we do have Festering Scythe coming back out, and popping that as soon as possible. So I want to dot everything now too. It wasn't really worth it popping my Unholy Frenzy and cards there. I mean, you could suggest, there's an argument to be made that if Dark Transformation is like halfway through, could do that because that's when you want to do it anyway, because that's the maximum amount of damage. But I felt like Dark Transformation was a little bit too far forward in its life cycle for it to be worth it. But I think I actually regret that. Looking back at it now, I think realistically I would actually should have pressed Unholy Assault. Oh well, that's what it is. Sorry, just something happening outside my door. So now, it's kind of a good thing I didn't press those cooldowns because we have a massive amount of targets here, which is great for us. So let's fucking go. We had a Blood Beast as well, but I don't think that Blood Beast actually stored a lot of damage because we weren't doing a lot. We didn't have cooldowns running or anything like that. Spending those sudden dooms and then getting Defile down as soon as possible so I can spam Vampiric Strike some more. Kind of the same thing. I'm looking to execute targets here now. Now looking at my stacks of Festering Scythe, we've got 9. So we can quite quickly get our Scythe stacked up if we are smart and clever. Because we do have Dark Transformation coming, which is going to spread lots of wounds. Every auto attack does like a cleave, which might put wounds on the target. So I'm going to target the Hobgoblin here just because it's the highest health, and I want it to die quickly. It also does a fair amount of unavoidable damage, which is not nice. So the sooner that's dead, the better. But this Marksmanship Hunter is genuinely owning. Now, I think I press Best in Slots. Yes, I do. Because Dark Transformation still had quite a hefty amount of life left in it. Just holding on to Best in Slots, eventually I'm going to end up overcapping or holding on too much to the point where like I'll miss casts. So Best in Slots, you do want to pair it with Dark Transformation, but you don't want to pair it with Dark Transformation so much, or push it back so much to the point where you just never use it, otherwise it's wasted. But here we have a nice big burst coming around. See, it's good that I use Best in Slot as well, because at this time I burst, I'm going to be using House of Cards and Unholy Frenzy, so I'd have to wait another 45 seconds before I could then use Best in Slots again. You see how the cooldown time just keep ramping up and up? It's just not worth it. Lots of targets. As soon as some more targets come into the fray, I want to dot those up. Spend that Infliction. I managed to cleave it as well, which is good. And then redot everything back up as soon as my Infliction has consumed every single one of those dots. Put Violent Plague back on. Now I'm gonna Dark Transformation definitely here because everything is still relatively healthy. Give everything do the Special Scythe first, so I've got some wounds to play with. But creamed. Somehow everything got just creamed. But we're moving on to the next pack, and we have a Festering Scythe for it. And I fucking spent it on one target. Stupid. I think during this playthrough I actually didn't see that we were putting more. So if I had a Festering Scythe there, I'd literally win. Dog. Just a dog. Oh, it's some Mr. Pandaria music like that. Okay. We don't have any cooldowns here. So what are we going to do? Just going to pop wounds. That's literally the only thing we can do. Pop wounds, maybe do some epidemics, find some targets that we could Death Court execute. And in this moment in time, it's quite a lot of targets. Epidemic is the winner. Festering Scythe to try and get those out. Because if these Festering Scythe targets that die, obviously their wounds when they die, they go towards the next Festering Scythe. Or the next Fester Might. So it's good. It's good to do that. Just spend it straight away. If it's only like one target, 2 targets, then obviously keep it for the next pack. But if you have like a whole pack, lots of targets, like 5 targets, spend the Festering Scythe. Because you will instantly get like 2 to 5 wounds from each set. Times by 5 again. Another Festering Scythe. We've got everything going here. Now, the Burning Fermentation, and to the ads, and that's not the ad, sorry, the Spouting Stout, that's the ad. That comes basically every 45 seconds. You can do a cooldown every time this comes, which is really nice. There you go, Spouting Stout again. You can see it 2 in the bottom corner, 45 seconds. So we always have damage for them. We just have to get them grouped. So I think what I'll do now is put a little D&D down. I'm not expecting to D&D slow, but I think realistically it should be. and do a little bit of cleaving here. Not really much you can do. Now, luckily for us, Dark Transformation lasts quite a long time. You can basically do this on cooldown, and it will be ready. It will still be up. It will be rolling when those ads spawn. But yeah, Death Ward's only at 8, so I want to get that stacked up. Boom, there we go. So I'm just holding on to Dark Transformation a little bit. Want to make sure, for sure, I can get these on the ads. Just had to spawn a little bit less. Abram Limb into that big cleave. Huge. Really good for us. And we also get a really nice value of Festering Scythe on all of those. We just managed to refresh Death Rot as well. That 10 stack. That is nice. So we have a couple of cooldowns coming back. Reapplying that infliction and consuming the cooldown and then reapplying it. Yeah, we have a couple of cooldowns coming back. We'll just use that on the Spouting Stout again. Which makes sense, really. Now, I would definitely dot these guys up because they will last a long time, so worth it. And our dots do a tremendous amount of damage. So yeah, here we go. So the ranged DPS actually take care of these ads really nicely, which I didn't think they would, but they did. So it's kind of a little bit of shit value on the old cooldowns, because right now, I'm not doing anything. Tried to pre-AMS the Burning Fermentation, but I was too late. But you can do that. The healer would always dispel me though, which is strange because obviously, well, he probably doesn't know, but DK's being one of the strongest, most defensive classes in the game, easily deal with debuffs like that. At this point, boss is quite low, but it is a 15, so being quite low doesn't necessarily mean you're close to it being dead. So, still dealing with the ads. I think the next time a Spouting Stout happens is boss focus. There we go. DPS is really quite even here as well, which is cool. Yeah, so nice little execute damage there. Focusing on spending Death Coil, spending Runic Power as soon as I can. I managed to slowly climb back up. As soon as you get to 35%, that execute damage really does propel you forwards. That's crazy. 30% additional damage, that is pretty nice. This is quite a good dungeon for Jastors and for House of Cards. Unfortunately, I'm going to lose those buffs, but if I was quicker, and this dungeon is really good for it, just chain pulling over and over again. So you can have a full benefit of Jastors and full benefit of a 3-stack House of Cards. If I'd had those, maybe I'd be doing a little bit more damage than I am right now. But I also have to stack up my 7-stack, which is kind of shit. And one annoying thing about this pool is the fact that you have to move away. It's so annoying. But they had so many procs to spend, I didn't even get my 7-stack until now. Yeah, you basically ignore everything apart from Sudden Doom procs and Festering Scythe procs. Overcapping power, like Runic Power in Mythic Plus, is not really that big of a deal as it is in Raid. In Raid, like, you really don't want to do it because you're thinking about constant damage for like 7 minutes constantly. But with Mythic Plus, you have lots of time in between pulls, so it's not really as big of a deal. Obviously, you don't want to waste Runic Power. You don't want to waste the potential for more runes and stuff like that, more Death Core casts, more Epidemic casts. But also, you have to think about the other procs that are going on at the same time too, and what you can actually handle as a human being. But here we have a small burst. It's going to be the same thing that we're always doing. Just getting that Death and Decay down, spamming Vampiric Strike, spending our procs as they come. Lots of new targets now, lovely. Let's got them all up. Now, annoyingly, they keep getting dragged out of Death and Decay. But what you can try and do is just try and get just Death Grip one mob into your Death and Decay. You be in there as well, and then cleave off that mob because that will then cleave off a few of the other mobs in there too. It's like a chain reaction. I'll try and keep Playbringer up, redot this guy. Spent my Festering Scythe because I wasn't too sure what the crack was, but now that I know that he was doing this pull, I actually would have liked to have saved it. But we have a big burst now. The key in Mythic Plus is to spend your cooldowns as much as possible on cooldown. So even though it's not going to be a massive pool, and the next one might be bigger, it's definitely not worth saving. It's very likely that I'll get another big burst during another big pool. So, and the pool after this next big pool. So if this is one, pool number 2, pool number 3, number 3 is big pool. Who the fuck is big pool? I don't know, but still doing decent damage. Overall, we're at 5.81 mil. Just in front of the Marksmanship Hunter. And just lose the essence. Wasn't on it enough, that's stupid. And I hate myself for it. Don't worry, I have paid my sins with my back. So it takes us a little while to actually get that back if we do at all during this pool. So we do decent damage, but we'd have liked to have done more. Complaining about 10 mil damage. Fucking hell. What world we live in. Alright, so I want to put everything's dots back on now. Quickly do that. Save my A-bomb limb for the next pack because it's going to be a big pool, big cooldowns. Worth it. So this was even, yeah, this wasn't even big cooldowns pool. We still did decent. I say big pool, it's just probably about the same amount of targets actually. I love this boss coming up though because there's so many adds to cleave on. I'm not really popping potions here, I don't really know why, but I also have the haste flask on, so I guess that's not a bad idea. That's not detrimental. The first thing I was focusing on there was getting my Dark Transformation out so I could instantly cast Vampiric Strike and just keep my buff rolling, then send my Death and Decay and my other buffs. That was only 3 targets, so switching to Death Calling instead. Pulls the boss as well. Sick. Love this. This is really nice. It allows us to keep our Festing Might stacks high. Keep our Festing Scythe stacks high as well. Now what we want to do here, when these bees spawn, is we want to try and just make sure we can dot them and give them wounds. Obviously, I don't need to tell you this again, but this boss is really nice because the constant adds means we have constantly 20 stacks of Festering Might if we handle popping the wounds correctly. Every time you pop one Festering wound, you receive 1 stack of Fester Might, which is 2% strength. So having 20 stacks is 40% strength. Crazy. So we really want to just keep that going as much as possible. It's almost double damage if you can keep that going. So right now, it's definitely worth it doing Dark Transformation when these adds spawn because the Dark Transformation, your minion, can then spread some wounds there and keep that Festering Scythe cycle going. See how long we're keeping a very high stacks of Festering Might. Quite difficult to get 20 stacks on a single target. It's definitely doable, obviously, for sure. But the thing, like if you play Apocalypse as well, that instantly pops 4, no matter what, no matter how many wounds you even have on the target. But yeah, so right now, got a burst. So we're quickly getting those stacks together. We only have 2 adds, so I mean, we're not really going to stack them very quickly anyway. We did get a Festering Scythe earlier, and I used it just pretty much on cooldown when it was only 1 target, which is probably not the sickest idea. But coming up next, we will have a Festering Scythe proc, and we've got these little bees! So, get these little guys down. Maybe I can get Festering Scythe proc if I'm lucky. Well, I'm not lucky, there you go. Boom. Now everything's got loads of thingies. Get another. Look at that, back to 18. We spent Festering Scythe, we're straight back to 18. There we go again. So next up is our smaller burst, 45 seconds, and weapon. So we have besting slots to pair that with. We also have A-bomb limb. A-bomb limb obviously being really nice for this boss. Pop it now as the adds spawn, get them all close together. Start cleaving. Yeah, Death got fucking yatted by the ads because I was, I don't know, too keen. Maybe it was a handsome debuff or something, I don't know. But they came onto me. Those ads came onto me. So I had to walk away. Now we've got Festering Scythe there. And the boss is quite low. Like, I don't really care. I think I'm just going to do it. I wasn't too sure when the ads would come, but holding on for this long, not really worth it. Also got smaller burst. Do I do it? I don't think I do it. Because the boss is literally 5% HP, I just save it, do my small burst, and then just keep the rest for when we go upstairs and do the yes men. We're almost done. We're making good time as well. And only one death. And it was the hunter at the start. Other than that, it's been a great run. Sitting pretty at 5.6 mil overall as well. That's pretty good. I think after this and then after the final boss, that drops down a little bit. But, I mean, between 5.5 mil to 6 mil is good damage for Cinderbrew. Alright. So target something else. Give that the wounds from Unholy Assault. I already somehow had 6 wounds from my main target. And then you're popping twice as many wounds. So you don't want to just give a target which has already got 6 wounds. 4 wounds. How's that going to help? And luckily for something like this, if you can find anything, even a yellow mob, just to do that too, it's 100% worth it. And then put your defile down, cleave. Pop those wounds. I got a few seconds till Dark Transformation is coming back. Both of these guys are obviously going to heal, so it's 100% worth sending Dark Transformation and Best slots on. Now, you might think, Sean, Obley, why are you putting Defile down? The cleave damage doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, well, it does matter, because it's DPS neutral to have it down on a single target anyway, but then if you are cleaving onto Conqueror and popping those wounds, that funnels. Funnels. Bursting wound damage. Burst of Might. Bursting Scythe. Checking. Right. Boss is coming up. We've got 5 minutes, 6 minutes to do it really. There's no actual worry here. And then the tank made it clear that we weren't going to pop any barrels. So he was going to pop all of them. We don't pop none. That's good for us. I think I get clipped here, but yeah, so I want to get a Plague Bringer buff rolling straight away. So obviously Plague Bringer triggers off of a Scourge Strike or Vampiric Strike or Clawing Shadows, and then increases the damage of your dots by 100%. So you definitely want to keep that running at literally all times. I wasn't certain this boss was going to stay in the defile, so I didn't bother putting that down. Yeah, so I got hit by that, and then it's the last time I'm going to get hit by it. Because I was so shameful. So ashamed of my wrongdoings. My silly sausageness. Also, another nice little tidbit about Vampiric Strike is if you can proc a lot of Vampiric Strikes, especially after Dark Transformation, the more you're spamming Vampiric Strike, the longer your Virulent Plague debuff lasts on the target, because every time you do it, it adds a few seconds. So it just means that you're not spending runes on outbreaks that you don't need to be spending on, because outbreak obviously will do next to no damage because it comes from it's just a dot really. But if you can keep that dot for free, that's so much better, because then you can spend that 1 rune on Vampiric Strike, which does 1,000,000 damage, and then some, and then could be increased in execute phase. This boss is still very healthy. Okay, I'm playing fucking Bomberman, making sure I don't die. Because I got hit once, I felt great shame in my body, so I had to make sure I don't get hit again. I'm taking too many additional steps. Do I get hit here? Fucking. Ooh. Yeah, so A-bomb them, do everything. And spam. Single target rotation here is pretty fucking simple. I mean, you can see in the buttons in the bottom right corner what's going on. It seems so weird to ignore wounds like this. I like playing with First Thing Scythe because it brings wounds back into the mix, where there's actually some importance with wounds, keeping your strength buffs going, keeping your bursting swords damage high. But when it gets to single target, there is literally you don't care. Because you can't stack a high First and Might anyway. It doesn't matter. And the damage is so low. One thing that really pisses me off about Unholy DK is the fact that we're spec built on, but like wounds and diseases and pets. But our wounds do nothing. Our wounds are such a small part of our damaging kit. Like, it's the added effects that popping the wounds brings via talents that make them okay. But okay, they're just okay. We want them to actually be good, like a core aspect. Like, to the point where the talent literally ignores them. I think when you were ignoring a core element of your class, there's something wrong. But there we go. That is Cinderbrew 15. We finished at 5.15 mil. It's alright. I would have liked a little bit more. But it's what it is. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, guys, please feel free to like, subscribe, give me that support. I appreciate every single one of you that does. But yeah, tune into my Twitch as well. And if you're interested in coaching, that's in the link below. Thanks, everyone. Yeah. What the fuck? Thanks, everyone. What? Fuck it again. Thanks, everyone, very much. Bye.